Hi, welcome back. And today we are going to discuss about the various parts of Programmable Logic Controller, that is called a PLC. So normally an PLC unit, it consists of 4 to 6 sections. The first one is Central Processing Unit, CPU, and second one is Input and Output section, and third one is Power Supply, and the fourth one is Programming Device. So the first one, Central Processing Unit, that is called CPU. So the CPU is the brain of Programmable Logic Controller. So the main purpose of using this CPU, which is used to execute the program which was stored in the memory section, and which is to perform the task which we are given as a programming language, and so that it can take the decision making, and the decision can be communicated to the other modules with the help of some communication devices. So here the CPU, this is an CPU, this is an CPU, and the memory. So here in a CPU, it has two sections. One is called processor and another one is called memory. So normally it has two types of memory. One is called RAM and another one is called ROM. So here the RAM, which is used to store the data which was used for the execution, that is for the data which is stored the program memory which is used for the execution, and the ROM, which is used to store the OS, operating system of the Programmable Logic Controller, and other informations or other data can be able to store in the ROM. So here the ladder logic and the functional block diagram or other programming languages can able to store here. And the input device. So here the input and output section, the input and output, it may be an analog or it may be an digital. So if the input, it may be an sensors or it may be in switches, etc. So the input devices which gives the information to the input module. From the input module, the data, it can be transferred to the Central Processing Unit CPU. So this is the either analog or it may be digital, both can be accessible. And the output devices. So here the output devices which is responsible for the interacting with the endpoint. So which the output devices, or it may be in monitor, or it may be in motor, or it may be in valve, or it may be an indicator, or it may be in some of the loaded devices also. So here the input is given here, and based on the input, the CPU to execute the program, and the decision, it can be given into the output sections. So here the power supply. So normally the power supply, it will be divided into three areas. So from the power supply, here for the power supply we are giving the either 230 volt AC or DC power supply. In the power supply module, here the input module and output module, we are giving the 24 volt DC power supply, and for the CPU we are giving the 5 volt DC power supply. So because the input and output modules, it may be in camera, or it may be in sensor, or it may be in valves, or it may be an actuator, or it may be motor. So which is these are need of high voltages like 24 volt DC. But for the CPU, it requires very low range of DC voltage like 5 volt, which is used to execute the programs. So this is the power supply. It will be the rated voltage, it can be supplied to all the electronic equipments. And the programming devices. So here as in the Programmable Logic Controller, it is a main one, the programming device. So it mainly we are using the ladder logic, that is called relay ladder logic. So or LL we are used for the programming, because it is a very easy one. It is easy to understand, it is easy to design, and so a number of advantages are there for the relay ladder logic programming language. And this is the fixed PLC. that is nothing but fixed type of PLC. So the main thing, we are giving the input to the processor. So the processor, it executes the program. So it gives the corresponding decisions making, and the decision making can be transferred to the output sections. So for the operation of input, output and the CPU, we have to give the power supplies, and the memory which is used to store the data's informations as well as the programming languages, and the communication which is used to transfer the data to the other modules. So this is an assessment. His sensor is input section or the output section, which is used in the input side or output side. So put your answer in the comment section, and these are the few references. Thank you.